maybe I kind of love him. Porque me gusta la mala vida. Sorry. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Miriam. If you're new here, bitch, subscribe to my channel. You already know. These are the books that I read in July. I mostly read on my Kindle in July for some reason. So we started off the month with reading The Dawn of the Cursed Queen, and this was me continuing the Book of Azrael series. I had read the book of Azrael last year. I loved it. I will recommend. That is like one of my god tier books. And then I read right after that one, I read the second book. I think it was something of the Fallen Gods or something like that. And then, so I like take a break. Like I used to read my series de putazo, and then I don't anymore because sometimes I feel like that gets me into a slump because I'm so caught up into a world. But like, I don't know why I didn't continue it. I wanted like a break. These books are thick and the world building is a little crazy at the beginning. So I was like, let me take a break. So I picked it back up and I did The Dawn of the Cursed Queen. When I tell you I love this series, mama, I love this series. I love it so much. So then right after that one, I went into The Wrath of the Fallen Gods. And if you guys don't know what the Book of Azrael is, it's just basically a book about monsters and gods and like trying to take over. I would say it's giving kind of a mix of Sarah J Maas and the Zodiac Academy a little bit. But I just love, like, there's so many other characters, and it's about like Sam Kyle and Diana trying to take over this Book of Azrael. It starts with the Book of Azrael, and then you discover that actually there are different realms and worlds, and people are trying to like become owners of all of this stuff, right? As we do, there is a mission, and that is why I think it's like Sarah J Maas, because there is a mission. And I kind of think that it's like Zodiac Academy, where it's the fan family. Sarah J Maas has it too, but the fan family, the side characters, the funniness, the banter, all that I love, and I would recommend that you go read the series. I love this. I loved The Dawn of the Cursed Queen. I gave that a 5 stars. All these books have been 5 stars, I think, except the third one. No, yeah, all of them have been 5 stars. There are some slow parts, as there will be with some of the like world building, and like you get introduced to some new characters, so then it kind of slows down there, you know, what their powers are and stuff like that. But other than that, I love this series. Right after that, I didn't know this, right? You can keep up with me more on like my day-to-day what I am reading on my TikTok. But I then started reading The Wrath of the Fallen. Again, Amber V. Nicole, I love her. Like, she's gonna be like one of my favorite authors in 2026. I have not found a different author that gives me the same feeling she does. I just love her. The Wrath of the Fallen, bitch, the way that this, okay, so let me tell you, I read these books like back to back, and then I don't know what happened. I think I took a break and I read another book, and then my brain was like, oh no, you still got another book that you can read, right? Because I posted it on TikTok, and I was like, I'm so sad that I don't have the 4th book. I thought that I had read the 3rd book, but it was actually I had read the 4th book already, like, because I read them back to back. I didn't register it, and I was caught up with the season. So then I was like, I'm gonna cook and booking. Mama, I had started listening to the same book I had just finished having a heartbreak over. Like, I was so mad because well, I'm not mad. I mean, I'm mad at myself for thinking that I could be in this world again, but the next book doesn't come out until November. So I have to wait. It ends in a cliffhanger, and I have to wait until November to read it. I can't wait. That is my most anticipated read as of now. And again, I love the found family. I love the redemption arc that we get in The Wrath of the Fallen, because we have been following some very nasty, and they make you hate these characters the way I hated these characters with my life. and then you get a redemption arc and you're like, maybe they're not so bad. Maybe I kind of love him. Porque me gusta la mala vida. But dude, I'm so sad for November. And it's because I got confused when the hardbacks are coming out. I think hardbacks are coming out in September. Then the other book is coming out in November. So that's why I have been reading them on my Kindle, because if I'm gonna buy the book, I might as well buy the cute hardback sprayed edge book. Like, I'm gonna spend the money, I'm gonna wait for the hardback. Even though I was not a hardback girly, I was like strictly paperback, but a lot of my characters now are getting traditionally published, and like they're getting their hardback covers. They come out with the books hardback first, so I want them hardback. If I can get them, I'll get them hardback and add them to my collection. I have like a whole shelf where like my god tier books live, and I tie it with like a hair tie so my kids can't get into it. I love. After that, I read On the Way to the Wedding by Julia Quinn, and this is the Bridgertons book number 8. This was recommended to me by my friend Cristal on TikTok to read. I don't see the show Bridgertons. I don't see any show. Actually, I don't have the attention span for that, but I love reading the books. So she said I would be fine if I just read this one. I understand why it was made into a show. It was giving telenovela. It was giving like there's a scene on there where I don't think this is a spoiler, but there's a scene on there where like tienen a alguien capturada, right? And like la tienen con una piu piu, like amenazada, and I was like, that's giving very novela, like no te acerques o la mato, you know. So yes, I understand why they made it a show. I just personally could never see it. Like, I don't, like, no me llama la atención, but the book was good. I gave it a 3 stars. It was entertaining. What I think, well, in the book, right, it's like they're courting and all that, like como que no captaba the terminology and all that, because maybe I hadn't read the whole series, and like I'm not very like in tune with what was happening back in the olden days. But I was like, estos lepes los llevan como a fiestas para que anden de calenturientos, y si se los encuentran solos los casan. That's crazy. But it was entertaining. I think I get the hype for the show. I just don't think that I'm gonna listen to the show. I gave this book a 3 stars. I don't think I would go back and read the other ones, but I don't know, I liked it. Initially Gregory was into the friend que iba con la morra a la fiesta, a la parranda, right? He was into Miss Hermione. And then Lady Lucinda le estaba contando que pues todo le tiran los perros y que no sé qué, no sé cuánto, que no se ilusione, right? And he gets all mad and stuff. But slowly, as like the week progresses de sus fiestas y su parranda, he starts falling for Lady Lucinda. And I'm like, I don't know how it would feel being this, like, si ya supiste que quiso a tu amiga and like she no lo peló and then they fall for you, like that's kind of crazy. So I don't know how I would feel being the second choice and accepting that. I also, what are your thoughts on having an epilogue after having written all the books? Because I was reading it and it says second epilogue, and I read about it and it looks like the author went back and wrote a second epilogue after writing all the books, like como que like she wanted to keep writing and she went back and wrote another epilogue. And I was just like, bro, like if you had already finished the story, am I being a hater? Maybe, like, you're gonna add what? And that's kind of my thing with epilogues. It adds what to the story. Sometimes I do love an epilogue because I want to be in the world and I don't want to leave, but sometimes I'm like, bro, I'm trying to finish the book. Why is there another epilogue? I didn't know how I felt about that. I gave it a 3 stars. For our Books and Banda book club, which is right here, you can join and we have discussions on it. We had the book Reina. It's an a Los Amos novel, but before reading Reina you had to read Ofrenda, which was a prequel that was about 50 pages, I think. Again, I read this on my Kindle. These 2 books are about a girl named Alejandra and you know, her having to do whatever it takes to help her father out with some medical issues and, you know, help pay for her brother's tuition. And she goes to the elites, donde basically las venden, right? And then she goes and presenta sus servicios, and it's kind of an arranged marriage. No se quieren at the beginning as they do. It takes place with Latino characters, so there's Spanish in here. Latino Mexican characters. And what I loved about these two books is that the Spanish is not cringy. It's not like cállate la boca, estoy hablando, or like white Mexican, well, I mean whitewashed Spanish. Like, it's a rancho Spanish, in my opinion. That's what I call it. It's like rancho Spanish, where you understand. It's like there's a sentence on there that I loved that I was like, ooh, raw, next question, where he's like, sí, hermano, I saw why you fell for her, or something like that, right? But then he says, está buena la morra. Bro, it's very few books that I know that they have like rancho Spanish. Usually they have like proper Spanish, and I'm like, no fluye, way, like that's not how we talk, you know. But I loved the first book, the Alejandra, was a little ¿cómo se llama? Like, she was a little like víctima, and then she's like, pero me gusta esto y que no sé cuánto, like, why am I feeling upburn between my legs or something like that. Así like como que muy mustia. That's what I thought. She was muy mustia in the novela, in the prequel. I enjoyed her more, so I gave the prequel 4.5. No, I gave the prequel 3.5, so I rounded it up to a 4. Because she was giving mustia. She was giving like, es que yo nunca hago esto, pero como que si me gusta, like, como que no te gusta y si te gusta. Then I read Reina, which is the book, and I loved her more in the book. Like, a veces she would go off on the male main character. I loved Alejandra. I loved the possessiveness of Ernesto. I loved how it wasn't like predictable, that because there's a scene on there and they're like, well, I can see the kidnapping coming in, que no sé qué, no sé cuánto, cuando esto pase, right? I loved everything about this book. I just wish it was longer. I wish we would have seen, like, you get to the ending and you're like, ¿y qué pasó? Like, te quedaste con ganas de más, right? So I can't wait until she writes the next book in this series. I think that you should go read it. It's an indie author, Mexicana. Amo. And the Spanish in this book is awesome, so highly recommend. I gave this book a 4.5. And I read it on my Kindle. It's only 494 pages. Okay, the last book I read in this book was about to put me in a slump, mama. I've been avoiding this book for 2 years. It was The Striker by Anna Huang. Mama, I have been avoiding this book, and I have, like, recently this book and the last book that I read in the King series by Anna Huang have been disappointing. I loved Anna Huang. Anna Huang was kind of like what got me back into reading. I've always loved reading. I read Twilight like 2 times. I loved Perfect Chemistry. Like, I've read my whole life. I just life got serious and I forgot to read. But I came back into reading with the Twisted series. I really enjoyed the Twisted series. I know people have, keep your opinion to yourself, say, but I love the Twisted series. So I have loved everything Anna Huang has published, except the last 2 books. I feel like these are regular schmegular people, and she usually writes about billionaires and, like a security guard for the queen, the princess of no sé qué, right? Like, these very high intellectual people, or like high status elite people. That's who she usually writes about. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with writing normal people. Elsie Silver has started writing normal regular people, and you can still have good writing in that. Abby Jimenez has written really normal people, and they still have really good stories and gut-wrenching moments. Jessica Peterson writes very normal people, but I love her books. I don't know what's going on with some of these books. He's a football player, which is soccer. Football for the rest of the world, soccer for us. A soccer player. We rewrite this book, and he's off season, so he's not even playing soccer. And then we have a broken ballerina that has chronic pain, and she's trying to overcome that, which I'm not dogging on anybody that has chronic pain. It's just I didn't see what the point of writing, let alone a book. Almost 600 page book is kind of crazy. 577 pages of a soccer player that's not even in like playing like most of the book. Like I think he's playing this much of the book he plays. This is the end of the book. Like I didn't understand. I feel like this didn't add to the story much and could have been an email. And that's kind of how I felt with her other book that she wrote. You guys will see kind of a mini review on that. I read it I think in May. I read The King of Gluttony. He was a chef, and I'm like, yes, you can write like good stories, and like his biggest problem was someone giving people food poisoning. And I was just like, and I don't like DNFing books. That is my problem too. So I really don't DNF. I've DNF'd like 3 books in my entire life. I will finish it and I will push myself and I will put myself in a self-induced book slump. But I hate DNFing, and I just had to get through this book. I had to take this book off my TBR because I've been avoiding it for 2 years, and I knew my instinct, my girl instinct, my book talk instinct, my book girly instinct was not wrong, because I wanted to DNF so bad. Literally, creo que me quedé dormida en un ratito, and I had to, when I woke up, I was like, crap, I'm still listening to this book, because I had to listen to it, because I would have not gone through it. I fell asleep, so I had to re-listen to some chapters because I was like, wait, what happened? Because I fell asleep. I would not recommend. I gave this 2 stars. My review on Goodreads is like, nothing happens. What a waste of 576 pages. And I feel so bad for that because I actually do like Anna Huang. But those are all the books I read in the month of July. What did you read in the month of July? Recommend me a good book, please. I want to see what your taste is. Anyways, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.